The 2024 NBA offseason is arguably the biggest one in franchise history for the Philadelphia 76ers. Daryl Morey maintained cap flexibility going into the summer, and as a result of that cap flexibility, the 76ers were able to fill out a roster that now will contend for a championship. The 76ers have a revamped roster. They had a solid NBA draft, bringing in McCain and Bona. Then they spend more than $400 million to sign Paul George away from the Los Angeles Clippers. They extended Tyrese Maxey. They were able to sign free agents Andre Drummond, Eric Gordon, Caleb Martin. They re-signed Kelly Oubre Jr. and brought back Kyle Lowry as well. Now the Philadelphia 76ers have an enticing big three and an excellent supporting cast that will certainly put them in the mix with the Boston Celtics and New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference. In today's video, I'm going to tell you how the Philadelphia 76ers absolutely aced their 2024 NBA offseason. If y'all can do me a solid favor, smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel for more Sixers and NBA content just like this. So the 76ers, they started off with a strong 2024 NBA draft. They drafted Jared McCain and Adem Bona. McCain, he averaged 14.3 points on 46.2% shooting, 5 rebounds, 1.9 assists, and 1.1 steals in 36 starts with Duke. Offensively, he ranked in the 81st percentile for off-the-dribble shooting efficiency. He also knocked down 42.1% of his 160 catch-and-shoot threes on the year. He's going to be a huge boost for the Sixers team coming off the bench. You look at Bona, he's an explosive and quick player on both ends of the floor. He's one of the most efficient rim finishers in the country, and that's certainly going to be his forte at the next level. He's going to give the 76ers some nice front court depth. And then you look at the 76ers, their biggest splash. It was the biggest splash of the summer. They signed Paul George to a 4-year, $212 million contract. He will be getting paid until he's 38 years old by the franchise. George picked Philadelphia after he spurned the Los Angeles Clippers and declined a player option in his contract for $48.8 million in the 2024-2025 season, ending a 5-year stretch with them. You look at Paul George, he is still one of the league's best two-way players. Major upgrade over Tobias Harris. You look at George's numbers, guys, in 2023, still averaged 22.6 points, 5.2 rebounds. He shot at 47.1% from the field and 41.3% beyond the arc. He's not the premier defender that he once was, but he's still an effective enough defender to be able to at least bother the other team's top offensive contributors. And you look at George, what he's going to add to the 76ers, guys. He's going to give them another scoring option. You look at the 76ers, they have a very capable big three. You got Embiid, Maxey, and now you're adding Paul George. Paul George is going to allow the 76ers team to do a lot more offensively. And I think this is just the perfect fit. When you look at these three players, they're going to complement each other well. I mean, if the Sixers finally make a deep playoff run and perhaps even win the title, you're going to look back at this Paul George move as an all-time great one for the 76ers team. So I like the move. The Sixers needed to land a big player. They needed to make a big acquisition. They got their guy in George, and now they got their big three. The 76ers, they didn't waste any more time from there. After signing the deal with Paul George, they locked up one of its core players as well. Tyrese Maxey signing a 5-year, $204 million contract extension. Huge deal for Maxey, well-deserved. Then they re-signed Kelly Oubre Jr., who was a big piece on this team last season. He agreed to terms with the team on a 2-year, $16.3 million deal, and Oubre, he is going to slot into an extremely talented starting five for Philadelphia. The 76ers then brought in center Andre Drummond to a 2-year, $10 million contract. This is arguably my favorite pickup for them. This is absolutely huge. You get that backup center for Joel Embiid. And the Sixers, they were linked to Drummond heading into last year's trade deadline. The reunion, it made a ton of sense. Philadelphia fills a huge need as they're going to get a consistent and proven rebounder. And Drummond will return to a Sixers team that he once claimed felt like home. in Philadelphia. Drummond appeared in 49 games, and when Joel Embiid missed action, he became a starter for 12 of them. And he averaged 18 minutes on the court. He was productive on the glass. He averaged 9 rebounds per game, and offensively, he had 6 points, 2 assists per game, making 54% of his shots. So Drummond, he's going to be a huge backup, the primary backup for Embiid. Then the Sixers made another big pickup, bringing in Eric Gordon, the veteran. He agreed to a deal with the 76ers. Reportedly will be a veteran minimum contract, which is about $3.3 million per year. But you look at Gordon, I mean, he's going to give this team some nice shooting from off the bench, a guy who can space the floor, hit those threes, and he's going to be valuable come playoff time, and one of those valuable rotation pieces that is going to make a huge impact, playing with guys who are going to get a lot of attention in Maxey, George, Embiid. Gordon is going to have plenty of clean open looks. Another guy who's going to have a field day feasting on clean open looks, Caleb Martin, and this was huge. I did not see this one coming. The fact that Caleb Martin turned down a deal that would have reportedly paid him $65 million over the next 5 seasons to stay with Miami, and instead he signed a 4-year deal guaranteed for more than $32 million with the Philadelphia 76ers, tells you that he knows Philadelphia is cooking up something special for this season. Caleb Martin has put himself in a winning environment, and the 76ers get a huge bargain on his deal. Martin takes the pay cut, and he is going to give the 76ers just that final piece to their starting 5, as Martin averaged 19.3 points on 60% shooting and scored a playoff career high 26 points on Boston's home floor in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 2023. He was a huge role player for the Heat during that magnificent run that they had. This is a really nice discount for the 76ers. Just a huge, huge W for them. And now you look at the headliners. The Sixers are now going to boast the starting 5 guys of Joel Embiid, Maxey, Paul George, along with Oubre and Caleb Martin. That's going to be a formidable starting 5. One of the best starting 5s in all of the NBA. And plus, you're going to have new additions like Drummond and Eric Gordon, who are going to provide some nice depth. Man, the 76ers look very, very good. And then the 76ers, they didn't stop there. They continued to fill out their depth chart by bringing back veteran point guard Kyle Lowry on a 1-year deal. And I love this for the 76ers. Kyle Lowry, you need that veteran presence. He won a championship with the Toronto Raptors. He's 38 years old, and he's going to still check a few boxes with the 76ers team, namely playmaking. And he remains a solid defender as well, and I just think his experience and his veteran presence is going to be valuable for the Sixers team that is clearly all in when it comes to winning a championship. As you look at the Sixers depth chart, guys, you're going to have Maxey, Lowry, then Kelly Oubre Jr., Eric Gordon, Jared McCain, Paul George, Ricky Council, Caleb Martin, Joel Embiid, Andre Drummond, and Adem Bona. This is looking really good. And I mean, you look at the 76ers, they have nice depth. They could probably still use another power forward and more wing depth, but you look at this roster, it has the makings of being one of the best teams in the NBA next season. I mean, the big 3, Embiid, George, Maxey, they fit together perfectly from just a skill set perspective. The Sixers have surrounded them with some wings, with much needed shooting, and there was a lack of playmaking on the roster, but they addressed that by bringing back Kyle Lowry. So Daryl Morey, he could have a few more tricks up his sleeve, but this 76ers team is rounding into form, and they should very well be a top contender in the NBA next season. I mean, they're really going to give the Celtics, I think, a run for its money. And you look at how last summer ended with the public breakup with James Harden and Daryl Morey. Fast forward to this summer, the 76ers have won the offseason. They have won this summer with additions of George, Martin, Drummond, Gordon, along with re-signing Maxey, Oubre Jr., Kyle Lowry. The 76ers are going to have a great shot to come out of the Eastern Conference. So I really think the 76ers aced this offseason. They did what they needed to do, and this is going to be one of the best teams. And I think this could very well be the year for Philadelphia, as this is a team that is desperately trying to at least get to an Eastern Conference Finals. They haven't been there since 2001. They're trying to get over the hump. Embiid has never made it past the second round of his career. He's 30 years old. The opportunity to win is now. They cannot waste any more time. Daryl Morey knew that. He executed brilliantly. And now the 76ers will have a good shot to make some noise for the 2024-2025 season. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on the Sixers offseason. How are you feeling about the Sixers going into the season? Drop a comment down below. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. That is it for me. It's Lucas signing off. Thanks so much for watching. I will catch you all again in the next video.